Alright guys, Rich here from the RCNetwork, and this is going to be build update number 1 on my team associated B5M. This is a 1/10 scale, two-wheel drive, mid-motor vehicle, and I've just started building this thing. Now, of course, with the RCNetwork, we can never leave well enough alone, so I've already started to add some official factory team associated parts. So there's going to be a few added items that you would not normally see in your kit version of the B5M. So I went ahead and picked up a few things. I've been following pretty much the manual as far as the setup, but I've been looking at Stephen Hartson's setup guide as well, just kind of comparing notes between the book setup versus his setup. So I've added a few parts that he's actually running so that I have the adjustability later on down the line. So the manual so far has been great, and what I really appreciate about Team Associated is when you open up bag A and you start on step 1, you use all the parts in the bag, which is really nice. So there's no leftover parts except for items that they may give you as additional adjustability items. So like the arm mounts for the rear, they give you a couple extra ones for the C mount, so which is pretty cool, so that you do have the adjustability down the line from what comes in the kit. So one of the things I wanted to mention was the screws that are included in the kit. Now, I've built a B44.2 before, and of course it came with all standard hardware. Well, Team Associated decided to go with all metric hardware for this kit, and a couple other ones that they've recently released. So it's really nice to be able to use my 1.5 and my 2.0 MIP drivers for this particular kit. I always get confused between 3/32 and 5/64 as far as which one's bigger. So it's just nice to have some metric wrenches going into this build. Now let's take a look at some of the upgrades that I've added, and I'll just kind of mention some things throughout this video as far as how the build has went. So far, what I've been really impressed with, and why I got the mid-motor, of course it's going to work for my track a little bit better, but I really like the fact that it has an aluminum chassis. And if we flip this thing over, I mean, the beauty of this thing is just awesome. I mean, you can see there how curvy the chassis is. It just adds all the strength. And then they really did a good job of those plastic pieces just, really being uniform all the way across that chassis. So very nice. One thing I wanted to add was the screws. For some reason, they just seem a great quality. I mean, they have some markings on them that, it just, for some reason, their screws and their kits are just better than the average bear. So I really wanted to bring that to your attention as well. So as far as some of the upgrades that I've added, and I'll take a look at hopefully some model numbers here too, I'll have them in the video description. I went with the aluminum front pin brace. So probably not needed, but it was just a few bucks, and went ahead and added that thing in. You'll also notice the steering rack. I went with the aluminum one. Now, there is some confusion as far as what's a B5 and B5M compatible part. So I had to do some research. So some of the things you're going to see are going to say B5. Well, of course, they're going to work for the B5M as well. So really quick look at the model numbers of those two items. The front pin brace right here, there's a look at that one. Went on, it says it's for the B5, works for the B5M as well. Next thing here, this is the steering set. Once again, B5 compatible, B5M it works on too. So this one was a little bit confusing. It came with a couple of little washers. I had to kind of research on RC Tech as to where those washers went, but figured it out. It would have been nice if there was maybe some instructions inside just to say kind of where they went, so there was no questions. On to the rear section of this. I'm pretty much up to the section where I start building the rear diff. So the rear mounts there, those are also upgrade parts. Both the C and the D mounts. Hopefully you can see that way back here. I just love the blue look of it. And one cool thing is they do have the inserts, and that's actually an uncool thing too. I didn't realize that they didn't have the inserts. And the other thing is there's C specific inserts and D specific inserts, so keep that in mind. Here's a look at the arm mounts. This is going to be the C arm mount, the factory team version of it. This is going to be the D mount, or that rearmost arm mount. And then finally, the two inserts. Now, the C mount actually gives you 8 different inserts, so you have plenty of adjustability on this one, and you only need 2 inserts to make this work. And then finally, you do get the D inserts right here, and you do get 4 of those. You only need 2, of course, and they're all identical, so you can flip-flop them if you wish, but I went ahead and went with a standard setup, kind of what the manual had asked for. So, well, that's it, guys. That is my update, build number 1 here of the B5M. I'm on to building the diff and getting all of that transmission set up, and then on to some other stuff. So hopefully you guys have checked out the electronic selection. I definitely like some of the ones that I've selected. I can't wait to get like the R10.1 in there and some other things. So that's it, guys. Any comments, questions on down below. And as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.